Now all of these accessories can be used on any of the combo or cover stitch machines that we have, the B68 and 48 or B62 and 42. And the way that these are going to work is by using the cover stitch capabilities that the machines have. You're going to be using, and these are actually Bernina accessories that will work with the Bernette machines. So don't be confused that they don't say Bernette on them, but they will work on both machines. So the first thing that you're going to have is this accessories holder. And the accessories holder is actually going to mount onto that flat sewing table, and you're going to be using the screws that come with the accessory. So you'll have two of these screws that you're going to be mounting the bracket, and just tighten it down, but don't tighten it too tight because you're going to be wanting to slide this side to side to get the positioning correct. Then this, as I mentioned, the accessory holder slides or swings out of the way. Now we're going to start by working with two different binders. So there is a single fold binder and there is a double fold binder. And really, what's the difference and what do they look like? So if you take a look at this apron that I have here, you're going to see that the double fold binder was used to make the straps as well as stitching right onto the apron. So you can see that it's folded on both the top side and the underside. So the difference then with the single fold binder is that on the underside it would not be folded, so it would lay completely flat and you'd have a much flatter application. And that's where you would want to use a bias strip of fabric so it wouldn't unravel. If you're going to be using a double fold binder, if you're not going around a curve, you don't need to use a bias cut fabric. And even the sleeve on my dress that I have, I've used a knit fabric. So you can use these folders, and I did use a single fold binder when I stitched this knit in place because it gave me more flexibility, and also I didn't need that added thickness because it's knit and it's not going to ravel. So all I'm going to do is simply take my binder and I'm going to slide this onto the holder and fasten it in place to the arm of that holder. Okay, so I'm just going to fasten this, screwing it in place, and I will be making some adjustments to the binder. But can you see now how it's going to swing into position? The beautiful part about this, where it's going to swing out, is that when I load my fabric in, and I'm going to be loading the fabric into the binder. Now you can swing this binder in and out. I like to swing it out when I'm going to be loading my fabric in place. Now keep in mind, you're going to do this sitting directly in front of your machine. We're going to do it sideways. So you simply load your fabric in, and again, cut the edge of your fabric at an angle pointing downward into the binder. We are going to be looking at the wrong side of our fabric as we slide this into the binder itself. Then take either your tweezers or the Allen wrench and gently slide that point until you see it coming out of the end of the binder itself. Okay? Now you can see that it's going to be turning your fabric on both the top and the bottom. So I always make my fabric strip longer than what I need, and you can see that it's folding both the top and that bottom layer. Then I can swing this back into position, and I like to start with my threads all separated because then I can slide this under the foot, and I want to make the adjustment for this binder. And again, this is where I can loosen or have that binder attachment set, and I can adjust it so that I'm going to be stitching right onto the fabric edge. Now I'll take a piece of fabric, and again, you can use a quilt fabric, you can use a cotton fabric, and you're just going to take the fabric then itself and slide it up into the binder, lower the foot, and you're going to stitch. Now as you stitch, you're just letting the fabric feed in all by itself and gently holding the fabric strip. All right, now when you would come close to the end of your fabric, you're just simply going to take the fabric strip, cut it off, and I'm going to cut a little longer length because then I'll show you how when we did those apron ties, we just continued to stitch. So here's where we have the fabric bound onto the edge of our fabric, onto the quilt sandwich, and we've made that tie that we would have used on the apron. So you can use this again on knit fabrics, you can use it on woven fabrics, and if you're going to be stitching this on with a single fold, now this attachment or this accessory holder would stay in place. So if I decided I wanted to use the single, all I do is I slide the one accessory out, I slide the other accessory in. The holder stays mounted right to the machine. And just as I did the double fold, I'm going to do the same with the single fold. So cutting my fabric at an angle, sliding it with the wrong side of the fabric facing toward me, slide it into the binder, grab onto that little tail, let me poke it out a little more, swing it up under the foot, raise the foot, which takes the tension off of your threads, so you have individual threads, and that allows you to swing this up underneath the presser foot. Lower the foot in place. I'm going to scoot this back. There we go. Take your fabric piece, slide it and tuck it right against the edge of that binder, and then stitch. Now you'll see the difference between the single and the double fold. It looks exactly the same on the top, but on the underside, can you see that there's this extra little bit of fabric that's there? And this is exactly why you would want to use this with a knit, or you would want to use it with a bias cut cotton fabric so it wouldn't come unraveled. So those are the binders. They make a whole lot of hard work very simple and easy when you use it on your cover stitch machines.